This is the Liberty and Freedom Network. For more information, contact us at libertyandfreedomnetwork@usa.com. What is happening in our country today is no less tragic than what has happened in our past. The battles that raged many years before led up to the tragedy of the Civil War. The years following were no less tragic. From World War I into World War II, from the Korean conflict to Vietnam, we have gone through a lot for a country that is 236 years old. What lies ahead will be in your hands. The future is you. Our destiny as a free and sovereign nation will be determined by our decision as to how we, the people, will defend this great nation. It is time. You must make a choice. Free and sovereign nation or complete and utter tyranny. The choice before the people is clear. You must decide today. Join Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook today. Go to freeamericaradio.wix.com/The Views Expressed for more information. Hey, this is Reverend Lynn S. Pierce. How you doing? This is the Views Expressed on the Liberty and Freedom Network, broadcasting live from FEMA Region 9, biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada. Got a lot to go. Got a lot to talk about. If I can talk today. There's a lot of pictures on the Liberty and Freedom Network page on Facebook. Check that out. We're on Facebook. There's a lot to discuss in this short segment. I just want to get this off my chest. Last night I talked about a certain particular group of people and hosts on where I broadcast from, which is where my podcasts are recorded, and that is on Spreaker.com. I just have to say that I listened to a vast majority of the, I should say, God, that's redundant, isn't it? I listened to about 45 minutes of the show that I was discussing yesterday of this one particular person. I'm not going to mention their name or the show or anything because they don't need any publicity. And I got to tell you, and like I said yesterday, I am beside people who have a right to say what they say. I don't agree with them. I may not agree with them. I may agree with them in some areas, but, regardless, they have a right to say what they say. But when it crosses the line and goes off air and goes off, and they talk about other people being all just whatever. I'm not going to get into it. But when it goes from being professional, being on air, being what they would consider to be entertainment, and when they take that step across that line and begin to bash someone for their own, let's just put it this way, humor in at the expense of someone else's disadvantage, that's when I draw the line. Okay? I don't believe in bashing someone just to make fun of them because that's really, That's really stuff you did in high school. Or college, depending. Or elementary school. Whatever. But that is just wrong. There is a professionalism that I try to bring to this show to try to, up the ante, if you will, and to make myself better by hearing from you people. That's why, my listeners, I really want you to, give me your input. You can email me personally at the show at freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. So I listened to about 45 minutes or so of this show that I was talking about yesterday. They're very edgy, is all I can say. They cuss, they rant, they rave, they whatever. They just rant is what they do, much like I do. But I have a reason for it because I'm analyzing certain elements of the news and of the world, and it goes from there. And hang on just a second. Somebody sent me a message on Facebook, and I have to let them know what. Let's see. I got to let them know what's going on. Anyway, like I said, I listened to the show and I heard them rant and I heard them talk down about another host on another network, and about two other hosts on another network, and they just, this went on for 45 minutes or more. And then about the end of the show, it was only 61 minutes long. By the end of the show, by the last 10 minutes, which I, stopped because I had to prep for this show, I have to tell you, the only entertaining part of that whole 61-minute show was the last 10 minutes of it. They answered an email, and they had something that they want to talk about. That was about the most, just hearing that was, what they were going to do before starting my show today, is formula. It's absolute formula. First 20 minutes we'll do this. After the break we'll come back, do this. And then after that break we'll come back and do that. It's formula. Okay? And they cuss, they, whatever. And like the disclaimer says, part of it is if you don't like the show, go someplace else. I say that about this show. If you don't like my analysis of what's going on, go hit some other show. Go click on some other show. Go, watch TV. Go play your stupid video games or whatever. Go listen to some watered down piece of mainstream media that really isn't going to give you crap. Go listen to some, warm and fuzzy feel-good show on Spreaker. I don't care. I'm analyzing the news to try to hopefully break it open, break it down line by line, and tell you exactly what's going on. Because, to be honest, it's my observation. It's my perspective. It's what I see. It's what I know. And I connect the dots with other people of, same mind. And also I look at mainstream media, look at Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Newsweek, all of this. And Newsweek has a really wonderful, photo on the front cover. But I break all this stuff down and I let you know what's going on. Well, this show that I just listened to 45 minutes of is totally, they call that entertainment? Who are they kidding? I get more entertainment value out of listening to Howard Stern. And I don't like Howard Stern. Okay? I mean, seriously. I'm not going to rant about that or anymore because, we have a show And I don't want to get into that. I do want to direct your attention to KTRNradio.com. KTRNradio.com. Go over there, listen to Jay Towers or BK. Check it out. There's a sports program over there as well. And when you can, and you get a chance, and you live on the East Coast, and you're listening to, and you want to listen to something between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, go listen to the Angel Clark Show on RadioFreedom.us. So anyway, hey, we're gonna take a little, just a little tiny break. We'll be back. It's not gonna be long, and we'll be back after this.
Listen to Angel Clark Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Radio Freedom News Network. RadioFreedom.us.
Have you heard about a show called Diane and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri? It's a talk show. Well, it's called Grab Bag Potpourri for a reason. They talk about everything under the sun, from education to politics, from lines at the cashier in the stores to parking lot drivers not paying attention. You want real radio? Well, you don't get any more real than that. That's Diane and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri talk show. Fridays at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a whole lot of fun.
We went to the streets to ask people, what do you like about Doc FM?
Oh, well, I think he's sexy. He has a very sexy voice, and he makes my headphones tingle.
I think the doctor is very smart. Everything he tells you, you must learn it, because it is smartness to know. Plus, he plays my favorite music. He plays like the 80s and the 70s and the 44s and the 62s.
J'ai pas eu une seule occasion de rester sans rien faire depuis que je suis arrivé à Camelot. Je suis trop occupé à courir derrière Arthur. Fais ci Merlin, fais ça Merlin. Et quand je cours pas derrière Arthur, je fais des corvées pour vous. Et quand je fais pas ça, j'accomplis mon...
Doc FM on Spreaker.com.
Well, it's no secret that Doctor won't play none of that countrified music, so I don't really listen to him that much, but when I do, it's a hoedown. The first time that I listened to the Doctor, he was making fun of the British. After I got over my attitude, I came back and listened to him. He's wonderful and raucous.
Listen to Doc FM every Saturday evening, 7 p.m. Central, right here on Spreaker.com.
This is The Views Expressed. I am your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce, right here for the 21st of August, 2012. Broadcasting live on the Liberty and Freedom Network, live on Spreaker.com. If you happen to be listening to the show live on the website, please click on the right-hand side on the book called Many Directions of Man. Let me know, and please purchase it because, hey, it keeps the website up and running, keeps this show up and running. You can also go over to the left-hand side, click on Store. You can buy stuff to promote your patriotism. You can also donate as much as you like. Doesn't matter. It keeps the webpage up and keeps the show going. That's all it does. I'm telling you straight up. That's all it does. Anyway, after my rant before the break, I want to give a shout out to folks over there at KTRNradio.com. Yeah, somebody thinks they have a little information on you, and you have information too. So go please check out KTRNradio.com. Enjoy the shows over there. And tell them Reverend Wayne S. Pierce over at the Views Express sent you. Hey, thank you very much. If you're following along, if you are following along and would like to follow the bouncing ball of insanity of the New World Order, go to Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook and definitely follow me there. And here's what I will be talking about. First of all, just want to give a little something here. From capitalismisfreedom.com. No permit. Woman ordered to not hand out free water in 112-degree heat. Michael Rhino Remover over there at capitalismisfreedom.com. He's a frequent guest over there at the Angel Clark Show at radiofreedom.us. Comes out of Phoenix. The city of Phoenix could face a lawsuit if the city doesn't apologize to a Valley woman for telling her she could not hand out free bottled water to people on a hot summer night. And Dana Crow Smith said a City of Phoenix worker came up to her during the first Friday festival in downtown Phoenix last month and told her she was violating city code by handing out free water because she did not have a permit. Crow Smith and a group of others were there exercising their Christian beliefs by engaging people to talk about religion if they wanted. The group brought several cases of bottled water to give away in the 112-degree heat, but, said a neighborhood preservation inspector, told the group they had to stop handing out the water or would be cited. Crow Smith said it was really hot and, yeah, we wanted to show God's love, and a small act of kindness is a great way to do that without shoving it down someone's throat. Rutherford Institute, a nonprofit civil liberties organization, stepped in to represent Crow Smith and called this a, quote, a violation of Crow Smith's First Amendment right to freely exercise her religion, her 14th Amendment due process rights, as well as the Arizona Free Exercise of Religion Act, unquote. So I think the city has something to explain, don't you? And Jay Towers over there at that radio show is Skyping me now, so I just want to answer him back. And I got to tell you, some people in Phoenix need to pull their head out of their butts, called the city managers and all of those folks, because they absolutely have violated this person's First Amendment rights, unless they've bought into the New World Order, philosophy of nobody has rights, you can do whatever you want. And I got to tell you, I really want people to stand up. So Phoenix, I'll tell you something. If you're listening to me anywhere in or around the Phoenix, Arizona area, I call you out right now. I call you out. All you Christian, I'm a minister, so hey, let's do this. I call you out. All Christians in the neighborhood of downtown Phoenix, pull out all of your bottled water and go out into the streets and hand it out to everybody. Not just on a festival day, just hand it out to anybody. What are they going to do? They can't arrest you all, can they? And if they say you need a permit, you tell them, this is God's love I'm handing out. You want some? And I guarantee you, this is all going to this is going to go away. So, sorry, I'm typing. So, anyway. So, the Rutherford Institute is a nonprofit civil liberties organization that fights for or defends those that have their rights violated. So I hope that they go after the city of Phoenix. I really do. I hope they go after this neighborhood preservation inspector. That's 3 big words meaning socialist, there was another word for it and I totally forgot. You ever have those mind burps that happen, Neighborhood preservation inspector. It's a New World Order thug is what it is. That's all it is. He's a socialist. He doesn't care about your rights or anybody else's. And I got to tell you, this person, literally, this neighborhood preservation inspector, needs to go back to school and read the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Let me repeat what Dana Crow Smith said. It was really hot, and yeah, we wanted to show God's love, and a small act of kindness is a great way to do that without shoving it down someone's throat. So they weren't saying anything. They were just, hey, God bless, here's some water. Right? Seriously. What would you do if I walked up to you and gave you water? Here you go, God bless, thank you. Boom. Right? Nothing. Not preaching, not standing on a soapbox. The Rutherford Institute, a nonprofit civil liberties organization, stepped in to represent Crow Smith and called this, and this is what they said, and they are correct, a violation of Crow Smith's First Amendment right to freely exercise her religion, her 14th Amendment due process rights, as well as Arizona's Free Exercise of Religion Act, unquote. This neighborhood preservation inspector, if it's an official title with the city, he needs to be fired. John Whitehead over there at the Rutherford Institute said, "It is a sad day when local government officials prohibit Americans from such charitable acts as giving water to the thirsty in their city." It's nothing. Now get that. No, I know the phone's ringing. I'm not. See, love caller ID. Sorry about that. I apologize. Now, this is perfect. The neighborhood preservation inspector needs to go and read the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. The Rutherford Institute needs to go after this guy and needs to, really clamp down on the fact that he's being tyrannical. Literally. And this neighborhood preservation inspector needs to read Arizona's Free Exercise of Religion Act. Okay? As John Whitehead said, it is a sad day when local government officials prohibit Americans from such charitable acts as giving water to the thirsty in their city. True. Absolutely true. I challenge any of my listeners to send me email to this show about what's happening in your area. So if something like this, similar to this, or something in the, general theme of this, someone trying to shut down somebody else, email that to the show at Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Now, Whitehead demanded in a letter to the city, in a letter to the city, Whitehead demanded the city issue a formal written apology to Crow Smith, assure her no city officials will interfere in future with her distribution of water, and require city workers to go through training on the proper enforcement of the city codes, like I just said. If not, a lawsuit could follow. But Crow Smith said she hopes to avoid a lawsuit and just wants to be able to hand out water. Speaking of which, I just drank some. She says, but I don't think it's even about religious beliefs. I think anybody should be able to give away water on the sidewalk to anybody. It's hot, and it's nice, and it's a nice thing to do. So I think this neighborhood preservation inspector, one, needs to apologize, and the city needs to come along and fire this jerk. Either that, or reprimand him. And get him to apologize. Anyway, I'm answering Jay Towers in a Skype chat. I apologize for this, folks. This is unusual. But anyway, what is your view on this? Okay, this is only Tuesday, so if you want to hold on to this, you can go to the Liberty and Freedom Network Facebook page and click on it. It says no permit. Woman ordered to not hand out free water in 112-degree heat. If you want to hang on to that, we can talk about that Friday in the first hour of Friday's show, which is Open Forum Friday. You can just call up, talk about anything you want. You can talk about geopolitical stuff. You can talk about these things. You can talk about whatever, education. You can even tell me what's happening in your city and your town. I live here in the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada, and right next door we have Sparks, Nevada. And in both cities, or actually in Sparks that I've seen so far, to be honest, is these signs called free speech zones. Please, if you have those in your city, email those pictures to me. Take pictures of them, take video, whatever, and send those to me at Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com, Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. And if you can get video of Homeland Security police or militarized, law enforcement, whatever, send that to Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com, Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Anyway, so Open Forum Friday, the first hour of the show, we're going to talk about anything on your plate. And I'm going to have a way for you to call in to the show, and I'll let you know on that day how you can do that. And, I'm looking forward to hearing from you. So if I stop talking or you hear me, kind of a little bit of air coming up, I got a little gassy there. I had lunch earlier, had a pizza, and I don't think it's agreeing with me at this point. Hey, there's a 12-minute video or so on Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Unstoppable economic collapse is imminent. Please go and listen to that. It's Glenn Beck. He's talking about this, but he has evidence right there in his little iPad that, from an official, one of our servants, really, about what is going to happen economically. You may not like Glenn Beck, but don't shoot the messenger. Listen to the message. Captain Kangaroo could be saying it and you still wouldn't like it. But get over it. It's your survival you need to be looking at, not, worrying about how you don't like some type of personality. You may not like what I say. Fine. Go out and do the research yourself then. Glenn Beck tells you to do the same thing. Go out and do the research. Don't believe me. Alex Jones, same thing. He says the same thing. Don't believe me? Go out and do the research. I know you won't because you don't want to admit you're wrong, but that's okay. You can watch your stupid reality shows and your stupid sports programs. That's fine. Waste away. Doesn't matter. I don't care. But what I do care about is survival. Okay? That's what I care about. But I don't think our military is going to survive much. I think most of them, a little side note here, a little FYI, about 60 to 70% of our military has told their commanding officers or their officers that are over them, we're not taking the guns away from the American people. They are when their bosses tell them, we need you to go into the city and confiscate weapons, guess what? They're defying those orders. Oh, there's going to be some little 20-year-old minion that doesn't really care and wants to follow orders and has been brainwashed and shot up with all kinds of shots to make them, believe everything that they're told. And they're going to try to do it, but trust me, you got a town of, here in Reno, it's over 300,000 people. You have a military of about 20 to 30,000, 10% of that. Yeah, you're going to find that they're going to be run out of town real quick. Okay? And I might be overestimating that, but even with half of that, even with 150,000 people against 30,000, I don't think, they're going to be run out of town in a heartbeat. One person over at Revolution News, I believe it's revolutionnews.us or something of that nature. Let me go try to find that. He called into the Revolution, or I believe that's what it is. Revolution News was the guy that runs that was on. That hosts a show basically on that site, called into Alex Jones and said that, things are just like moving way too fast. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff happening, and he had a lot of information. I don't remember it right offhand. I did until I went to the site and lost my train of thought. That's what happens. Have you ever had your train derailed? Trust me. Talking about the military, about 60 to 70% of our military will not take your guns away from you. Just remember that. From Liberty and Freedom Foundation, which is also on Facebook, they also have a website. Liberty and Freedom Foundation, not my group. I'm Liberty and Freedom Network. Liberty and Freedom Foundation on Facebook says, Obama adds military heroes to enemies list. Oh, let me say that again. You want to get irate? Let me say this again. Obama adds military heroes to enemies list via Breitbart. Go to Breitbart.com, Breitbart.com, Breitbart.com. Yeah, the government murdered him. Barack Obama has added military heroes to his enemies list, singling out veterans groups such as Special Operations for America and Veterans for a Strong America on his campaign website for attack. Several veterans groups have spoken out against the Obama's habit of taking credit for the Osama bin Laden raid and leaking military secrets for political gain. So the Obama campaign is trying to shoot the messenger. Left-wing groups aligned with the Obama administration have even gone so far as to call the U.S. Navy SEALs. Got any U.S. Navy SEALs out there? You're going to find this very offensive. Left-wing groups aligned with the Obama administration have even gone so far as to call the U.S. Navy SEALs gutless for their participation in criticism of Obama. Ryan Zink, a U.S. Zinke, Z-I-N-K-E, sorry if I mispronounced that last name, Ryan. A U.S. Navy SEAL from 85 to 2008 said, quote, "It's a sad time for America when a president has to resort to bully tactics, intimidation, and misleading personal attacks against anyone who dares to speak out and be heard. The good thing is Americans have a long history of defeating tyrants." Unquote. Amen. I got to tell you, it's getting down to that. It's getting down to that, literally. Remember years ago you had this scenario of the us against them folk? Remember that? Remember all that? Yeah, you remember that. Let me tell you something. It's here, folks. It's here. There is no... I wrote an essay called "It's No Longer a Conspiracy Theory," and it isn't. There is no longer a conspiracy theory on any of this. They are just coming out and saying what we've already known for years. Well, if they already knew it, let's just put it out there and, make it happen anyway. It's already out there, folks. It's right there in the mainstream news. They won't talk to you about it. They won't report on it. But when you read the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, the trash tabloid paper, as I like to call it, and you look at what's there, okay, and you read between the lines, and you look at everything, there's no way that you can deny the fact that what these so-called conspiracy theories were 10, 15, 20 years ago, 30, 40, 50 years ago, are now a reality. There's no way you can deny it. No way. It happens. It's here. Okay? It's here. I don't... I don't know. It's one of those things where you just want to sit back and you want to see the Jenga tower fall apart. Excuse me. You just want to see that. Don't you remember playing the game Jenga and you're pulling all those little things out? You're not trying to win the game. You want to see how far you can go and watch it fall. When you see it fall, that's like exciting to you. It's like, yeah, okay, let's see all these pieces fall. This is what's happening. Okay? This is what's happening. I don't know myself personally how people are going to survive if they don't see this stuff for what it is. If they don't examine this stuff for what it is. I'm serious. How my mother used to tell me religion and politics should stay private. I looked at her and said, how can we get along as a society and progress to the next level if we don't talk about this stuff? Well, we just shouldn't. Really? That's what they said in communist China. That's what they said in communist Russia. And so nobody did, and they had their own state-run church, and guess what? Yeah. Perestroika. Yeah, they basically, after Reagan said to Gorbachev, tear down this wall, they basically went, oops, I think we created a problem. Because it took people to stand up and say enough's enough. It took people in Eastern Germany to say, screw you people, we're tearing down this wall. And they began to do it. Okay? Now, I don't know how all of this is going to play out. I do see a light at the end of the tunnel, I really do, but I don't know how it's all going to play out. Okay? I don't know the method by which the players on the home team are going to cross the goal line against the visitors. I don't know the game plan. I don't know the methods. I don't know any of it. All I know is that we have to survive. We have to take this to the next level. We have to survive. I do not condone violence, but I do support defense. Okay? After the break, I'll get into some more stories there on Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Check it out, please. Like the page, and we'll go from there. I'll be back right after this. You were listening to the views expressed right here on the Liberty and Freedom Network.
Listen to Angel Clark Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Radio Freedom News Network. RadioFreedom.us.
Are you looking for an alternative to your normal everyday radio? Well, check out KTRNradio.com. Jay Towers and Brian Keller bring you everything that you ever wanted to know, and even if you didn't want to know it. Go check out That Radio Show with your host, Jay Towers, and That DK Show with your host, Brian Keller, on KTRNradio.com. You want funny? You want entertaining? You want a belly full of laughs? And some seriousness, too. Come check out the J-Man Show right here on Spreaker.com. Hey, this is Views Expressed right here on the Liberty and Freedom Network, broadcasting live on Spreaker.com, behind enemy lines in FEMA Region 9, in the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada. It's a bright, sunny day out, a little breezy, and I'm sitting here telling you all the things you ever wanted to know about what was happening in our world today, analyzing the news, breaking it down, giving you my opinions. There you go. Speaking of which, go to Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Check out that page. Like it if you want. It's up to you. Want to give you this. It's from Liberty and Freedom Foundation, not my group, someone else. Liberty and Freedom Foundation on Facebook. And they say, PC world gone mad. Illegal immigrants protest being called illegal, demand to be called undocumented. Really? Okay. The PC craze has even spread over to the debate on illegal immigration, as groups of immigrants are now protesting the use of the word illegal to describe those who have entered the United States illegally. They demand to be called undocumented. Now, get this. Quote, by saying illegal, they're assuming that we broke a criminal law, unquote, said Jackie, and I can't even pronounce the last name. She's of Bayshore, a Truro Law School student who identified herself as undocumented. Now, they are moving to make the word, using the word illegal racist, claiming, quote, it's a racist word against our community, unquote. And as Liberty and Freedom Foundation has said, well, entering America without a visa is a crime. There's a reason it is called illegal. What a shame that the whole process of immigration, which is a cornerstone of our society, has been sullied by those who circumvent our laws, then blame Americans for their plight. Go to Liberty and Freedom Network. That's my group, Liberty and Freedom Network. Go check out that article. To me, and I'm going to say this, okay? I'm just going to put it out there. They are circumventing the law and blaming us and telling us how we need to speak now. Okay, it is illegal to cross the border into this country. Who made that illegal? Well, there's laws to be followed. Okay? That's what Liberty and Freedom Foundation has said. No, that's why they call it illegal. You can check out their website at liberty-freedom.org. Liberty-freedom.org. And check out their site. Pretty good site. They got a lot of stuff on it. You know? They have galleries, they have videos, you know, all of that. It's really cool, you know. The fact of the matter is that if I went to any other country, I would attempt to, number one, learn the language, and number two, I would attempt to make myself legal in that country. Okay? It just stands to reason, that's common sense, that that's what we need to do. All right? Just saying. There's so much going on. There's just, oh God, I don't know. It's incredible how stupid these illegal immigrants, I don't even call them immigrants anymore. They're illegal aliens. They're here illegally. That's it. Period. End of sentence. They think we're stupid. So stupid, in fact, that they think we're just going to roll over like puppy dogs and just let them do whatever they want to do. Look what happened a couple of years ago in Arizona. Remember that video where that cop got beamed in his helmet by a water bottle when they were protesting SB 1070? Thank you, Jan Brewer, for signing that into law. And the federal courts are tearing it apart to say, no, 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 you can't have this. No, 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 no. I believe that immigration, number one, should be a federal case. I believe that each state should take that case unto itself, depending upon their own state laws. And I believe that Governor Jan Brewer and Sheriff Joe Arpaio are following the law according to the Constitution and Bill of Rights of the United States of America. Thank you, Governor Brewer and Sheriff Arpaio. You are true Americans. Now, some people would say, well, that sounds pretty racist because you don't like Mexicans. I got friends of every race, creed, color, and religion that you can think of. Okay? So, blow that out your pipe because that's absolutely not true. I'm never been racist, never will be racist. I have never been so prejudicial. Is that a word? I've never been prejudiced. Okay? I've liked everybody I've come in contact with. Oh, there are a few people I don't like, but so you don't hang out with them. But seriously, these illegal aliens are telling us, oh, we don't want to be called illegal anymore. Just call us undocumented. Okay, undocumented alien. Show me your documents. Yes. Probable cause. Hello, Fourth Amendment. Oh, that's right. Do we have a Bill of Rights anymore after President Obama signed the NDAA into law 7 months ago, 8 months ago? So think about it. Just think about it. Okay? If you don't like being called illegal aliens, shut the hell up and go home. Or, if you really want to be a part of this country, do it the right way. Well, what costs money? Big freaking deal. Hello? Big freaking deal. Okay? Now, anybody in South America who crosses into the Mexican country, into Mexico, anybody in South America that crosses the border down there is shot on sight or severely punished. Okay? Us gringos, if we go to Mexico, we get killed. The drug cartels are going, no, you can't go over there. They kidnap us. How many people in the last 3 to 4 years have been beheaded by Al-Qaeda run and United States government funded drug cartels? Because Al-Qaeda is being funded by the American people. Did you know that? It's, on record. Yeah, our tax money goes to fund Al-Qaeda. Yeah, you don't believe it? Go do the research. Don't believe me? Go do the research. Hello, it's all over the place. What, you don't want to look it up because you're afraid you'll be wrong? Bingo. So how many people in the last 3.5, 4 years have been killed on the border, including Border Patrol agents? Now, last year, or just beginning of this year, I think President Obama took the military, National Guard, off of the border. Well, I got something to say about that. That was the stupidest thing he could have ever done. Well, whatever. Sorry, phone ringing again, folks. I don't know who it is. I don't know. They can get the voicemail. Think about this. He pulls the military off of the border. And crime goes up on the border because we don't have enough Border Patrol agents. Okay, residents of Southern California, of Southern Mexico, Southern New Mexico, Southern Arizona, Southern New Mexico, and Southern Texas, I got word for you. Lock and load. More and more sheriffs are coming out in every single county. More and more sheriffs across the United States are saying, look, we don't have the budget to stop crime in your area. You might as well start packing. Not to leave, not to go somewhere. No. You better get a firearm and you better learn how to use it. I said it and I'll say it again. That radio host from revolutionnews.us, on his show said that the hammer was coming down, said that he was going to go out and get some firearms. Well, guess what? The following week, FBI and federal agents showed up at his house. Took him away for 20 hours to examine him. And guess what? That was a violation of his Fourth Amendment rights. It was also a violation of his First Amendment rights. And they had no right to do that. Period. End of sentence. But they're going to do it anyway because they're total New World Order thugs. And when I tell you people in Southern California, Southern Arizona, Southern New Mexico, and Southern Texas to lock and load, what are they going to do to me? Do you have anything against the president? No, I like the guy. I don't care for his policies. Are you going to harm the president in any way? No, I'm not. That's stupid. Do you have weapons? No, I don't. I plan on getting some, but I don't. No one has a right to tell you anything that would put you in a position to where you have to make a choice of either following God or following the law. And if these New World Order thugs come to your house and tell you, well, you have to come with us. No, you don't, because number one, they don't have probable cause. And number two, you have a right to an attorney. Hello? And guess what? Plan on getting one. And hopefully your wife or your husband has plenty of bail money. By the way, let me interject this. Over at LRN.FM, I heard of a host over there, or one of their people, named Derek J, is serving some community service for doing something and implementing, what is that? Civil disobedience. Okay. He practiced, or he stood on his rights and committed to civil disobedience and was arrested. So, positive thoughts and help to Derek J. Email lrn.fm or freetalklive.com. Check that out. Anything that you can do to help, moral support, letters, whatever, emails, please send it. But here we are, still, I would believe, the greatest nation in the world because of its people, not because of its policies. Our policies are tyrannical, and they are tearing this country down. And that's what the handlers of Barack Obama want done. And these are the same people that are handling Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan. And don't get me wrong, Paul Ryan said some fantastic things. It's never going to happen. But so did Barack Obama. Seriously. When I saw him in the summer of 2007, I think it was, when everybody was running, Hillary, John McCain, everybody was running. When I saw all of the presidential candidates on both sides, I zeroed in on Barack Obama, Barry Soetoro, whose father is Frank Marshall Davis. Check that out at Dreams of My Real Father, made by Joel Gilbert. Get that at Infowars.com. Go to the store over there. It should be right there. But remember this. Go back to his campaign. What did you see? You saw a very charismatic man talk about hope and change. Talk about yes, we can. Well, 3.5 years later, after he becomes president, he has spent trillions more dollars than this country has ever spent from George Washington up to George Bush number 2. Okay? So I don't think Romney's going to be able to get us out of this. Neither is Paul Ryan. We are headed for an economic collapse. Go listen to what Glenn Beck says. Go click on the link on Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. It's on there. I mean, it's right there. It's unstoppable economic collapse is imminent. So check that out. It's 12 minutes long, so. But anyway, I don't know. I honestly do not know. We'll be back after this. Calvin Wheeler is an American dreamer in a triple threat cage match with his two biggest adversaries, everyday life and himself. His marriage to the woman he believed to be his soulmate is rapidly evaporating before his eyes. The book he's been working on for over a decade is slipping through his fingers as he struggles to complete it. As these pressures grow, Calvin compensates by conjuring up outrageous road rage scenarios in the multiplex of his mind. To make matters even worse, he drives for a living. As his life, job, and dreams simultaneously implode, his wild fantasies begin to literally bleed over into reality. Now, with a gun in one hand and a steering wheel in the other, this distant runner-up in the human race feels empowered for the very first time. And the moral to the story? Traffic can be murder. Red Asphalt by Scott Cherney. Available on the Kindle and in paperback at Amazon.com. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the king of all dorks. Go listen to the Chris Top program right here on Spreaker.com.
A communications disruption can mean only one thing: invasion.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. You're listening to the views expressed right here on the Liberty and Freedom Network. Yes. Now, why don't you listen to the truth? Because the truth is going to hit you between the eyes. It's going to break you apart. You're going to wonder why you had your head stuck up your ass all this time. I don't know, man. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. There are a lot of things that we have to take into consideration. And one of them, I would believe to be one of them, is the truth. Well, as Glenn Beck says, who I really like, he says that the truth has no agenda. And he's right. Base the truth on facts, you got yourself a tight case for freedom and liberty. Nobody can take that away from you. Nobody. If you have the facts backed up or backing up everything that you say, there ain't nothing you got to worry about. Because you know it. And it's there. And you've proved it. From InfoWars Social Networking Coalition. Researchers develop new pain-free ways to make sure you are vaccinated. From OccupyCorporatism.com. Susan Polzel contributed an article over there. Said Dr. Aaron Goodice, a pediatrician at the University of Maryland School of Medicine, proposed a new way to coerce parents into giving their children vaccinations. A clear, dissolvable patch that will alleviate fears associated with needles. Pharmaceutical corporations, the U.S. government, and researchers at state-sponsored universities are focused on more sophisticated ways of ensuring the general population worldwide succumbs to vaccinations now have a new option. MIT researchers have invented a device that administers a minuscule yet high-pressured jet of quote-unquote medicine directly through the skin without the use of a syringe. The device can be programmed to administer a wide range of immunizations at multiple depths within the body. MIT says this device will eliminate the transfer of disease by misuse and reuse of needles. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, healthcare workers accidentally prick themselves with needles over 385,000 times annually. Quote, if you're afraid of needles and have to frequently self-inject, compliance can be an issue, says Catherine Hogan, a research scientist at MIT's Department of Mechanical Engineering and a participant of the research team. Quote, we think this kind of technology gets around some of the phobias that people have about needles, unquote. Article is right there on the Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Researchers develop new pain-free ways to make sure you are vaccinated. If you're on the website for the Liberty and Freedom Network, you'll notice on the right-hand side that there is a picture of a book entitled Many Directions of Man. Please buy that. It's my book. I wrote it. It supports the website and the show. That's all it does. You can also go to the left-hand side of the page. There's a donate button there. This is listener-supported. You can donate as much as you want, little as you want, nothing at all. Hey, all it does, it keeps the website up and the show going. There's also a store there if you'd like to purchase stuff to promote your patriotism. You can do that. Go there and purchase some stuff, and that keeps the website up and the show going. If you'd like to sponsor the show, those are paid advertisements from you. Email me at libertyandfreedomnetwork@usa.com, libertyandfreedomnetwork@usa.com. I will send you out the rate sheet that I have. If you would like promos for your shows on whatever network you're on, if you're on Spreaker, if you have your own website, if you have Shoutcast, whatever it is, send those to me, and I will promote those shows. Send audio clips, whatever you want, photos, little icons of your show, whatever, and I'll put that up on the website, and I'll run your promos here on the show. So you can send those to Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com, Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. And if you want to email me personally at the show, you can do that as well at freeamericaradio at USA.com, freeamericaradio at USA.com. Okay. Enough of the promotions. If you, like I said, I can promo your show for free, but if you had something that you want to sell or anything like that, then that's an ad, and you got to pay for that one. So, email me at Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com, Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. I'll send you out that rate sheet, and we'll discuss, your ads. Okay. And again, if you want to do all that at one shot and put up an icon on my website to promote your show and to promote your product, I can do that. Just let me know. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. This is the Liberty and Freedom Network. For more information, contact us at Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. This is Views Expressed for the 21st of August, 2012. Thank you for joining me on today's show. Really do appreciate your support. Just showing up in the chat room is support enough. If you want to say hi, say hi. If you got to go, then you got to go. Let me know and say bye. You know, kind of rhyme there, didn't I, up till the end? Anyway, broadcasting live on the Liberty and Freedom Network. Live on Spreaker.com. Behind enemy lines, FEMA Region 9 in the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada. Yes, we are here in the great state of Nevada, also plummeting downward into the great abyss of financial collapse, as well as the rest of the United States. Want to follow along? Please do it. Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Sorry, phone keeps ringing. You've probably heard that 3 times already. And it's getting very annoying. So, no, it's not. I'm pretty used to it now. There's a picture up on Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Got a USMC. Yes, Marine Corps. Hoorah! Yeah. There you go. Got 2 federal agents behind him with Obama pins on their jackets. And they come in, and one of them points at this Marine Corps, this Marine, and says, "You need to shut down your Facebook page right now. You were sworn to defend the President of the United States." And the Marine says, "I'm President, so not the Constitution." And the other guy in the other suit with duct tape says, "Should we gag him?" Yeah. That's about right. Now, there's an article there from AlexanderHiggins.com. If you click on the picture, you'll bring up this picture. There's 778 shares, 90 people like this. I'm going to like it too because it's on my page. And there's a article, American college student gunned down, kidnapped, and tortured in secret prison. You might want to click on that and check that out from blog.alexanderhiggins.com. Yeah. There are so many things that we are not paying attention to, such as new DNA hard drives can store entire Library of Congress in a single molecule. Now, of course, I need to vet this site. It's thedailysheeple.com. Let me tell you what they say here. Tired of lugging around that keychain flash drive? Wondering how government will be able to store and rapidly access all of those yottabytes of data that are collecting about you and that they are collecting about you and the other 7 billion people on the planet? A new data storage method created by researchers at Harvard Medical School in Boston promises to change the shape of the data collection and storage industry forever by converting data into biological bits stored within the fibers of DNA. The new technology would allow the amount of data stored on a DVD to be sequenced into a biodrive that weighs approximately 1 trillionth of a gram. It's the highest known storage density ever devised. Little blurb down below this. It says, when it comes to storing information, hard drives don't hold a candle to DNA. Our genetic code packs billions of gigabytes into a single gram. A mere milligram of the molecule could encode the complete text of every book in the Library of Congress and have plenty of room to spare. All of this has been mostly theoretical until now. In a new study, researchers stored an entire genetics textbook in less than a picogram of DNA, 1 trillionth of a gram, and an advance, that could revolutionize our ability to save data. A few teams have tried to write data into the genomes of living cells, but the approach has a couple of disadvantages. First, cells die. Not a good way to lose your term paper. They also replicate, introducing new mutations over time that can change data. To get around these problems, a team led by George Church, a synthetic biologist at Harvard Medical School in Boston, created a DNA information archiving system that uses no cells at all. Instead, an inkjet printer embeds short fragments of chemically synthesized DNA onto the surface of a tiny glass chip. To encode a digital file, researchers divide it into tiny blocks of data and convert these data not into ones and zeros of typical digital storage media, but rather into DNA four-letter alphabets of A's, C's, G's, and T's. Each DNA fragment also contains a digital quote-unquote barcode that records its location in the original file. Reading the data requires DNA sequencer and a computer to reassemble all of the fragments in order and convert them back into digital format. The computer also corrects for errors. Each block of data is replicated thousands of times so that any glitch, each block of data is replicated thousands of times so that any chance glitch can be identified and fixed by comparing it to the other copies. To demonstrate its system in action, the team used the DNA chips to encode a genetics book co-authored by Church. It worked. After converting the book into DNA and translating it back into digital form, the team's system had a raw error rate of only 2 errors per million bits, amounting to a few single-letter typos. That is on par with DVDs and far better than magnetic drives. And because of their tiny size, DNA chips are now the storage medium with the highest known information density, the researchers report online today in Science. Source, Science Now. Okay? So there you go. Remember one thing. Lieutenant Commander Data. Think about it, folks. Think about it. Think about what could happen. Think about it. Here you are, a human being, born flesh, blood, bone, marrow, everything. They now have, if you look on YouTube, videos of robots that look human, androids that look human, and operate like humans. There also, last year, I saw an article about neural nets. Neural nets. I saw other articles about certain other ways of converting human bioelectrical system to computers. I've seen articles many years ago now about taking the brain waves, the EEG waves, the EK, all of that, the EEG, all of the brain, everything electrical in the brain because it's a computer, and transferring all of that into a computer. But now with this, what I just read to you, it's now possible for this to happen. Okay? Now, I'm going to put this up on Liberty and Freedom Network under that particular article. New DNA hard drives can store entire Library of Congress in a single molecule, from the Daily Sheeple. But I want you, really, I encourage you, I would like you to, it's imperative for you to check out the link that I got underneath of that I just put there just now. If you're listening to this in the podcast, I just loaded up a link to 2045.com. Okay? You'll see a video on there that says 2045, a new era for humanity. Check that out. This is what is going to happen in our future. And it's happening today. There's an article there that says, synthetic biology book published in DNA. Right above it, there's an article called Artificial Intelligence Helps Detect Subtle Differences in Mutant Worms. Another article says patterning, there we go, that word. Patterning defect-free nanocrystal films with nanometer resolution. Study reveals, another article, study reveals the brain's mysterious switchboard operator. Another one, super aging 80-year-olds have brains 30 years younger. Okay. There's a video. 2045 Initiative's vision for further development of humankind. Okay? This is something that you really need to look at. Okay? Something you really seriously have to look at. Okay? It's scary, I know. It is very, very terrifying. And I got to tell you, I don't like it. I don't like it any more than you do. But now they are building robots. It's on Liberty and Freedom Network. If you scroll down to I'll tell you right now. I go down. I'm on there now. Follow me. It goes down. I got pictures. Blah blah blah. A bunch of things. But you go down further. Okay. It's just, you know, I'm at the point now where it's hell on earth anymore. You know? If you scroll down on Liberty and Freedom Network, you'll see, on Facebook, you'll see synthetic police are coming. DARPA engineering autonomous robots. That's an article from theintelhub.com. Okay? I'm not telling you things that, you know, I'm not trying to scare the hell out of you. But I'm telling you these things to get you prepared, hopefully. Unless you're too busy sitting around watching your stupid sports programs and reality shows and sucking on your, you know, beer and whatever else you drink. And if you think I'm stupid or wrong or an idiot or one of them conspiracy kooks, prove me wrong. You can't. I'm not even looking forward to it. Because the only other person in this whole... the only other person you have to prove anything to, and yes, you have to prove something to someone, is yourself. And if you're too lazy to get up off your butt to go look at this stuff and examine it yourself, I don't feel sorry for you for what's coming. Have fun in the FEMA camp, because that's where you're going. Take your beer with you. They may want some. Seriously. They might. Who knows? They're thugs. Be back after this.
You were listening to the views expressed right here on the Liberty and Freedom Network.
Listen to Angel Clark Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Radio Freedom News Network. RadioFreedom.us.
Are you looking for an alternative to your normal everyday radio? Well, check out KTRNradio.com. Jay Towers and Brian Keller bring you everything that you ever wanted to know. And even if you didn't want to know it, go check out That Radio Show with your host, Jay Towers, and That DK Show with your host, Brian Keller, on KTRNradio.com. You want funny? You want entertaining? You want a belly full of laughs? And some seriousness too. Come check out the J-Man Show right here on Spreaker.com. First of all, you're at the views expressed. I am your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce, for the 21st of August, 2012. Broadcasting live on the Liberty and Freedom Network. Broadcasting live on Spreaker.com. Check out Spreaker.com. They got some great rates if you want to host a show. Second thing I want to say is I need some answers from people, okay? You kept hearing the phone ringing. I want to apologize, okay? This is what happens when you do this from your home. I want everybody to slam this phone number. I mean, literally call them up and leave all kinds of messages. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Okay, here's why. They've called 4 times already. But before you do that, before you do that, I want to find out from someone out there. Email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. Who is Market Decision at 503-977-6714. It's out of Oregon. That number again is 503-977-6714. It says Market Decision. Let me know who they are. freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. Also, I also want to put out a public service announcement. See, that's probably them now. So, yes, it is. It is. That's 5 times today. But let me put out this public service announcement and say this. You'll get a call on your caller ID. You may not know who it is, what it is. It might have some name of a city somewhere or whatever. And you answer it, and it's a collection agency. First of all, here's 2 pieces of information I received that other people need to do, and I'm passing it on to you. First of all, ask what it is about. And then if they say, well, it's about, whatever, you know who you've, owe money to, right? Hopefully. Then tell them this. Okay, you send me every piece of information you have on this particular account to my address. Well, what is your address? Well, you must have it. You have my information there, do you not? Well, can we verify it? No. You have my information. Send me all of the information you have pertaining to that account and what this matter is about, please, to that address. And if they say they can't, or, why do you want us to send it? Tell them, I'm taking it to my attorney. And leave it at that. Chances are they'll never call you again. But remember this, they have call centers all over the world, all over the United States. Mostly 60% of them are all outside of the United States anyway. So, they don't follow United States law, commerce law. Okay, they don't. They're trying to get money out of you no matter what. So my PSA to you is this: don't bother with them. You know specifically who you owe money to, who you're paying, who you didn't pay, right? So you know who you owe, is all I'm saying. You know who you owe. And there they are again. Pardon me while I do this live on air. Oh no, it's not. Someone else. It's someone else here in Reno. Yeah, I get these calls a lot. Again, now listen to this. This is very, very important. This is very important. These holding companies that are run by the 6 major banks in the U.S., funded by your tax dollars through the fraudulent taxes that you pay every year. The IRS is the biggest collection agency on the planet. And, funded by, the Federal Reserve, which prints money out of nothing. These holding companies, and most of them are probably owned by George Soros, own all of these collection agencies. And therefore, or some subsidy of another company owns these collection agencies. And therefore, they're trying to get money out of you. I've read and heard articles where people, didn't know, I didn't know that was put in collection, and they start paying the collection agency, and then they find out, wait a minute, hold on, I paid that bill off years ago. Why am I paying this collection agency now? And they sue the collection agency, and all these collection agencies do is, after 3 years to 5 years, they change their name, turn around, and they create another name, but they still have the same people, and they're still committing the fraud that they are paid to commit. Okay, I went to orientations of several collection agencies or financial, whatever companies they are, whatever politically correct name you want to use for these robbers and these illegitimate people. I went to different orientations because I was investigating and researching and wanting to get a job to see what they, were doing. And several people I know who have worked in several collection agencies have said they are nothing but fraudulent companies that take your money. They are told by their bosses to call somebody out of the phone book. Just make it up. Just pull a number and call them and harass them until, they, agree that they owe the bill. Well, guess what? They're fraudulent, okay? All of them are fraudulent. Now, the argument would be, well, if we didn't have collection agencies, how would these companies get money? That's a good question. I appreciate that question. Let me take this live on air. Thank you very much. Actually, let me go to a long break, okay? Just let me go to a long break and I'll be right back.
Listen to Angel Clark Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Radio Freedom News Network. RadioFreedom.us.
Have you heard about a show called Diane and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri? It's a talk show. Well, it's called Grab Bag Potpourri for a reason. They talk about everything under the sun, from education to politics, from lines at the cashier in the stores to parking lot drivers not paying attention. You want real radio? Well, you don't get any more real than that. That's Diane and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri talk show. Fridays at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a whole lot of fun.
We went to the streets to ask people, what do you like about Doc FM?
Oh, well, I think he's sexy. He has a very sexy voice, and he makes my headphones tingle.
I think the doctor is very smart. Everything he tells you, you must learn it, because it is smartness to know. Plus, he plays my favorite music. He plays like the 80s and the 70s and the 44s and the 62s.
J'ai pas eu une seule occasion de rester sans rien faire depuis que je suis arrivé à Camelot. Je suis trop occupé à courir derrière Arthur. Fais ci Merlin, fais ça Merlin. Et quand je cours pas derrière Arthur, je fais des corvées pour vous. Et quand je fais pas ça, j'accomplis mon...
Doc FM on Spreaker.com.
Well, it's no secret that Doctor won't play none of that countrified music, so I don't really listen to him that much, but when I do, it's a hoedown. The first time that I listened to the Doctor, he was making fun of the British. After I got over my attitude, I came back and listened to him. He's wonderful and raucous.
Listen to Doc FM every Saturday evening, 7 p.m. Central, right here on Spreaker.com.
Hey, this is the Views Expressed right here on the 21st of August, 2012. The Liberty and Freedom Network, broadcasting live on Spreaker.com. Yes, had to take that break because I kept getting those phone calls. I want to apologize to every one of my listeners for those phone calls. Okay? Phone kept ringing. I looked at the caller ID. I just let the voicemail take it. Whatever it is. I talked about it before the break. These companies, these collection agencies, are nothing but fraudulent companies bought or made and created by holding companies that defraud you. Now, of course, like I said, the question is, well, if we didn't have collection agencies, how would companies get their money? That is a very, very good question. The argument can go either way, roundabout, upside down, backwards, sideways, forwards, whatever. It doesn't matter. Bottom line is, if you owe somebody, pay them. But if you do happen to unfortunately be called by a collection agency, it is time for you to lawyer up. I found that school loans, mortgages, all of that, and all of these collection agencies, and there are stories out there, horror stories from people, go look them up. They're all a fraud. School loans, biggest fraud since, I don't know when. All school loans, every single last school loan that you get from the federal government is absolutely 100% fraudulent. Go to startpage.com, put in the search engine, school loan fraud. See how many articles come up about that one. Okay? I might be talking about that on Thursday's show. I got to put all the stuff together to get that. It's all a fraud. Here's why. First of all, if I were to loan you money, let's say I loaned you $10 and you gave me back that $10, that's not fraudulent. You did a good thing. I loaned you 10, you gave it back, that's okay. What is fraudulent is telling you, hey, I got some things for you to do, and I'm going to pay you $20. You know, you got to learn a few things, okay, but here's this. You got to learn a few things first. Then after you learn those things, then I'll pay you $20. That's basic deceit right there. Okay? The school loans, universities, the community colleges, all of that, operate on this one very simple, deceitful factor. They say we can help you learn about the field of interest you want to be in. They don't tell you the real numbers in that field of unemployment. They don't tell you the real labor market numbers. They don't tell you any of that. They just say, oh yeah, you can go to our financial aid department and get, financial aid, get loans from, GSLs, guaranteed student loans, yada, yada, yada. But you have to pay them back 6 months after you graduate. I've heard horror stories on that. 6 months into the school, 8 months into the school year, they're getting bills from the federal government. Like, wait a minute, I haven't even gotten through school yet and graduated. Okay? Over 70%, and I know this from the numbers I've looked at, over 70% of all graduates out of 2 years of university or 2 years of community colleges have not gotten the jobs they went to school for. Okay? Having an education is good, and I absolutely, support education. By the way, you can go talk to your community colleges and ask them if you can audit a class, which is you don't get grades, you just want to learn for your own personal enjoyment. From what I found out, they don't have a problem with that. Okay? Education, you get a certificate, I think, when you're done. I'm not sure. Education is a key. Okay? Education is a key. But remember, your 18-year-old or your 17-year-old who's going to graduate high school and go to college is going to have to get a loan either from you, which is a bank loan, mortgage against the house, maybe if your house is not underwater, or they're going to have to get a loan from the federal government, which, of course, I believe the number was over 85% of all school loans in the last 10 to 15 years have not been paid back in full. There is I think it's $1.2 trillion education debt when it comes to school loans. We might talk about this on the Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show on Friday night at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. And I'll get more numbers and get the accurate numbers for that show as well. But you need to understand that it is all a fraud. Yes. Come talk to me, officials. It's all a fraud. You know it. They know it. I know it. And the word is out. It's all a fraud. Okay? The reason why some people's houses are underwater and they can't afford them is because of the fact that the home loans are fraud. Okay? My grandmother many, many years ago when she was young and just got married and they were getting a house, they paid cash for a down payment. My dad paid for his house, the one I grew up in 1958. And paid the owner of the house, not the bank. Wrote the check every month to the owner of the house, not the bank. Okay? It's all a fraud. Okay? Your credit card companies, fraudulent. Every single last one of them. Every single last one of them. Now, banks are now saying you have to pay a service charge. Why? For you to hold my money for me to use it. Huh. You're going to charge me $8 to $10 to $12 to $15 a month to hold my money, which of course, yesterday I just learned that once you put your money in an account, it becomes the bank's. It's not yours. Because they can loan it out and do whatever they want to with it. It's called fractional reserve banking. They can do whatever they want with your money. Well, with their money now that it's theirs. You deposited it. It's their money. So you don't have a dime. And they give it back to you. Okay? Did you know that when you go and you use your ATM card or debit card or whatever it is for purchases, that's all electronic. There's no cash changing hands. So how do you know your account's not being hacked at that point? The bank only has so much money in its vault. And each bank is set up for and within this system of fractional reserve banking. Once you take your $100 check down there or $500 or whatever and you put it into your account, it's theirs. They can do with it what they want. What happened to the money that was yours? Well, if the bank goes under, you're out of luck. You ain't got no money. Yeah. You're better off sticking it in a shoebox under your bed. Credit unions, I don't know too much about, but I think they're a little bit better at handling their money. Okay? I got to check it out, and I'll give you a report on that as well. Coming down to the last 8 minutes of the show, I want to remind you that if you're on the page, and if you want to put an article on the page, please email those articles to me at libertyandfreedomnetwork@usa.com. libertyandfreedomnetwork@usa.com. I'm going to have to read the article, see if it's, what type of article it is, and I will put it on the page in the appropriate section. There's views and then there's news. So, that kind of thing. I got to put it that way. But anyway, if you want to join me on Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook, go to Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Like the page. It's pretty cool. If you follow me over on Spreaker.com, please let me know. Okay, because I'm getting a lot of notifications in my email saying this person's following me, this person or whatever, But I really need to know. There's an email address right there. Just let me know right there. Just go to the page on Spreaker and just click the email and email me and say, hey, I just clicked followed. Here I am. Here's my show, whatever. And I'll promote your show. I don't mind. Okay? But if you have something that you want to sell, I got some ad space available on the website, and I can throw some ads up here on the show here. So email me for the ad rates at Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com, Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. More than happy to share that with you. Now, you heard me say it before, I have another show on Friday nights. It's called Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show. It's Grab Bag. We talk about anything under the sun. I may talk about education. We usually get into that pretty hot and heavy. On that subject. You can come join us on Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show Friday night at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. And, we talk about anything under the sun. We'll make a way also on Friday. I'll make a way on Friday for you to contact me over Skype. And on Friday, on the Views Express, the first hour is open. Open Forum Friday. Talk about anything under the sun geopolitically, what's happening in Tunisia, what's happening, what your feelings are on the economy, whatever it is. And, of course, this gives you the opportunity to promote your website, your show, what you do, and I'm more than happy to do that. So, So let me know. Open Forum Friday, first hour of the show. I'm going to open the phones up or open the line up and let you discuss things that's on your mind and in your neck of the woods. But keep it, on the theme of this show, if you would. You know what? If you got a good, stew recipe that you want to share, a good chili recipe you want to share, you can do that too. How about that? There we go. You can do that. It's all right. First hour of the show, Open Forum Friday on Views Expressed, starting at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here in the Liberty and Freedom Network, broadcasting live on Spreaker.com.
What is happening in our country today is no less tragic than what has happened in our past. The battles that raged many years before led up to the tragedy of the Civil War. The years following were no less tragic. From World War I into World War II, from the Korean conflict to Vietnam, we have gone through a lot for a country that is 236 years old. What lies ahead will be in your hands. The future is you. Our destiny as a free and sovereign nation will be determined by our decision as to how we, the people, will defend this great nation. It is time. You must make a choice. Free and sovereign nation or complete and utter tyranny. The choice before the people is clear. You must decide today. Join Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook today. Go to freeamericaradio.wix.com/The Views Expressed for more information.
Hey, this is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce for the Views Express, Monday through Friday on the Liberty and Freedom Network from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific. Yes, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Liberty and Freedom Network, broadcasting live on Spreaker.com, behind enemy lines in FEMA Region 9 in the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada. Yes. Coming down to the last few minutes of the show. Yes. Coming down to the last few minutes of the show. I want to gear tomorrow's show to a few things. More stuff on Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. But also to discussing how you and I'm just going to give you my perspective, my opinions on how I believe that you and I can take care of ourselves. Okay? Just want to do that. This is the Liberty and Freedom Network. Views expressed on the Liberty and Freedom Network. Email us at libertyandfreedomnetwork@usa.com. That's libertyandfreedomnetwork@usa.com. You want to email me personally on the show? You can do that. Yes, you can email me personally on the show. And that is at freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. Please remember one thing. We're free. We're sovereign people. We the people have the power, for we are America.